Welcome back, people of God. Listen, I know the enemy does not want me to discuss this. He doesn't want me to minister to anyone on this particular topic, so we had some interference. However, I'm going to go ahead and release this because even if it's just for one, which I know it's not only for one, I know that it's more that will definitely need the enlightenment from this particular topic. Welcome back, people of God. Prophetess Dr. Evette Young here, Lady General. You can just call me that. I have a ministry by the name of Declaring God's Voice Global Reach, along with God's Royal Women Ministries. And just come inbox me if you need prayer, help, or anything. My husband and I are here definitely to help you all. But I am going to, without further ado, get back into this teaching again. Invite your viewers, and the reason is because so many are dealing with this issue and they don't have a church to go to find the freedom that they need. They're not hearing it because as we read earlier, the statistics are less than 7% of churches are addressing or even have leaders there to help them in this particular area. Now, for those of you who were not with me on the very first video, maybe about 20 minutes ago, I'm going to attempt to give you the information again. And I need to give you the stats. I need to give you the facts so that you can understand how widespread of a problem and an issue it is. And then at the end, I will bring forth the solution to the problem and minister to those of you who are with me. And I will be praying for those of you who may have husbands or wives or children or nieces, nephews who are affected by this particular spirit, pornography, and other sexual addictions. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the information. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me go ahead and without further ado, I'm going to jump right back into it. I was discussing about the statistics of those in the church who are dealing with a stronghold to pornography. 51% of pastors say cyber pornography is a problem. It's a temptation for them. 37% say it is a current struggle. Over half of evangelical pastors admit to viewing pornography the entire year. 20% of the calls received on the pastoral care line are for help with issues such as pornography and compulsive sexual behavior. 33% of clergy admitted to having visited a sexually explicit website. Of those who had visited a pornography site, 53 had visited such sites a few times the entire year, and 18% visit sexually explicit sites between a couple of times a month and more than once a week. 29% of born again adults in the U.S. feel it is morally acceptable to view movies with explicit sexual behavior. 57% of pastors say that addiction to pornography is the most sexually damaging issue to their congregation. At the end of this video recording, I will come on and give you the resources, all the information where you can find all of the stats, and also where you can find help. At the end of the video, I will be releasing the information to you. Listen. I'm going to let you know that it is not only a problem for men, but a problem for women as well. Because 28% of those women, they admit to having a sexual addiction to pornography. 34% of female readers of today's Christian Women's online newsletter admitted to intentionally accessing internet porn in a recent poll, and 1 out of every 6 women, including Christians, struggle with an addiction to pornography. 13% of women admit to accessing pornography at work, and 70 of women keep their cyber activities a secret. Okay, now 42% of men, they visit on a daily basis. 66% of men in their 20s and 30s report being a regular user of pornography. My God. 47% of Christian families say that pornography is a problem in their home. Listen to this staggering information, people of God. The internet was a significant factor in 2 out of 3 divorces in between 2003 and 2010. Okay, you can go and check divorcewizards.com. 9 out of 10 children between the ages of 8 and 16 have viewed pornography on the internet, in most cases unintentionally. Average age of first internet exposure to pornography was 11 years old. My Lord. Listen, people of God. As little as 6 hours of exposure to softcore porn is anything designed to arouse one sexually, is enough to destroy satisfaction with your spouse, to decrease in the value of faithfulness, to decrease in partner satisfaction, increase in the thought that women enjoy rape, and it has the ability to make you lose a certain kind of attraction to the person that you claim to cherish. People of God, this is a problem. This is a problem. Child pornography, the statistics are 20,000 images of child pornography are posted online every single week. Approximately 20% of all internet pornography involves children. 100,000 websites offer illegal child pornography. My God, 3.5 billion annual industry for child pornography. My God, do you hear these numbers? 3.5 billions of dollars. Online perpetrator statistics are 1 in 7 children who use the internet have been sexually solicited. 1 in 4 children participate in real-time chat. 1 in 5 children between the ages of 10 and 17 receive unwanted sexual solicitations online. 2 in 5 abductions of children ages 15 to 17 are due to internet contact. 76% of victims in the internet initiated sexual exploitation cases were between the ages of 13 and 15. That is 75% were girls. Why am I coming to you today? It's because there is a problem. There's a demon on the loose. There's a power that is after your household. There's a demon that's after your children. There's a devil that's after your spouse. And I came to help somebody today. I came to give you the facts so that while you are praying, the intercessors, while you are around your family members, you can cover your family with the blood, and you can make sure you put up protective measures to make sure that you are protecting your children and those that you love. Okay? When it comes to sex and sexuality, men often find themselves in a losing battle against temptation. Over sexualized images of women everywhere today. Media can be a man's worst enemy. Too many have spent too much of their lives hiding because they don't have anyone that they feel they can trust. So they hide behind a cloak of churchiness. There's a myth that women do not struggle as much as men do. But it's a myth. Women struggle as well. The average American will see 15,000 sexual references a year on TV alone. All research and statistics show that pornography and sexual addiction continues to rise, and that there is no discernible difference between Christians and non-Christians. My Lord, how do a church leader deal with this demon, deal with this problem, this epidemic, this widespread issue in the church, when the statistics are clear and they are stating to us that pastors, deacons, bishops, apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, and teachers are dealing with some form of addiction to sexual pornography or any other proclivity that is sexual in nature. The world is so full of sexual temptations, but men and women, you got to understand that God is giving you the power to overcome the powers of darkness that are coming against your marriages and coming against your homes. Pornography is a $13.3 billion industry in the United States alone, people of God. And worldwide, it is a $97 billion industry. It makes more money than every major league sport team. Basketball, football, baseball, track, hockey combined. It makes more money, people of God, more revenue. Gay porn makes the most money. Sex is the most searched word on the internet. Hear me today. 47% of families said that porn is a problem in their home. Do you hear me? 1.5 billion downloads every month. Every second, 3,000 every second. Do you hear me? $3,000 is spent on pornography. Every day there is 68 million searchers for internet porn. The largest age group that is viewing at this moment is between 12 and 18. People of God, in the pornography industry, you can also know that it causes a lot of other physical issues as well. It opens your life up to demonic powers. Even those that are actively doing the pornography on the screen, they are even allowed to work with herpes. Listen, they glamorize it, but you don't know that they can be raped, gang raped, sodomized. A lot of them have HIV. They lose their family. They can be beaten as well. The church needs to expose this particular snake and cut off the head before more lives are ruined. Because many marriages, they say between 87% of marriages, they say that pornography is something that was a problem in a particular marriage. My Lord, have mercy. Many guys wait until their dirty little secret begins to spin out of control before they go and seek for help, because it is such an issue. It is such a problem. You can go to blazinggrace.org, crosswalk.com, xchurch.com. Go there and look at the staggering information. But people of God, I want to talk to you, some of you who know people who can identify with this particular problem, this particular issue, and those who want to get free but can't find a church house or a church home or a minister or a leader or a mentor to help them with this particular issue. It could be your husband. It could be your teenager. It could be your niece or your nephew. It could be someone, a close friend of yours that is dealing with this particular spirit. Listen, it is destroying lives. It is destroying homes. But I want to talk a little bit, just for a few moments, about the 8 characteristics of porn addiction. Listen. To truly understand pornography addiction, we must first define it and realize it is actually a type of sexual addiction. Although there are many definitions, this one really strikes and sends home the fullness of what it is. Sexual addiction is any persistent and escalating unhealthy pattern of sexual behavior. It is compulsive in nature and used to avoid or change feelings despite destructive consequences on oneself or others. Listen, I'm going to give you some information here. I want you to share this because someone in your news feed, someone in your friend list could be dealing with this issue and they don't know who to talk to about it. And this is why we are bringing the awareness today and the information and also the ministerial help and even deliverance for those of you who are struggling and want to be free. And I'm going to wind down because I'm going to have to come back and do part 2. It is number 1. Here is a characteristic of a person or persons who are addicted to pornography, those who are struggling. Number 1, it is unmanageable. In 12-step groups such as Alcoholics Anonymous, the first step to recovery is number 1, admitting that you have a problem and that you are powerless over it. You have to, number 1, admit. Many addicts will confess that they feel like their addiction has taken over their minds, their bodies, and free will. When they feel the itch to use, they believe that they cannot help themselves, but they got to scratch the itch. This leads to a life that is totally out of control and unmanageable. This is what you know to be as what we know to be as bondage. This is also symptomatic of a lack of trust in God. Whether they realize it or not, addicts struggle to place their trust in God, especially when times are tough. Instead of turning to God for help, they choose to self-medicate. This constant self-medicating leads to addiction and a life that is totally out of control. And this is why I'm coming here, because many are out of control with masturbation and pornography and addicted to all sorts of sexual proclivities. Number 2, it creates a neurochemical tolerance. Viewing pornography triggers several neurochemical reactions in the brain. It produces a high feeling, which is intensified with an orgasm. This neurochemical high is also experienced when using drugs such as cocaine or heroin. As with any other drug, a tolerance soon develops. More is needed to get the same effect. Thus, a man will spend increasing amounts of time online viewing pornography, and the type of pornography will become more extreme. Number 3, it is degenerative and progressive. Over time, the addiction gets worse. As tolerance and dependence grow, the need for pornography grows. Instead of viewing soft porn now, soft porn like magazines or swimsuit issues or Victoria's Secret catalogs. Now you need something more defiant, something hardcore, something that is more violent in nature and more illegal. I'm telling you, people of God, this is a demon after people's lives today, and we have to speak against it. Instead of spending a few minutes a week viewing pornography, he may now be viewing it for several hours a day. Ultimately, the pursuit and the use of pornography consumes the person's life. Number 4, it is negative, it is destructive, and it has these consequences on families and children everywhere. The consequences of pornography extend to the physical, emotional, financial, and spiritual realms. Physical consequences can include genital injury, loss of sleep, stress, fatigue, and even physical injury if a man or woman engages in sexual acts that are out of control. If he is acting it out with other people, he runs the risk of contracting a sexual transmitted disease or creating an unplanned pregnancy. The emotional consequences of pornography addiction include isolation, loneliness, fear, guilt, shame, anger, depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem. Many addicts experience a loss of their marriage, family, and friends. Listen, even careers. The financial consequences can be very great because people spend large amounts of money and they can just accumulate a lot of debt. All right? They can accumulate a lot of debt and you don't even know where the money is going. And so for a person who has an addiction, listen, the money is being spent on pornography. If you have an addiction, the most dangerous consequence of pornography addiction is the impact that it has on a relationship with God. Of course, with your wife and your children, or your husband and your children. But most pornography users know that what they are doing is wrong and harmful, but yet it's a bondage. It is something that must be addressed in the realm of the spirit. So number 5, it is used to escape negative feelings. It is used to medicate, self-medication. And number 6, it is justified by the concept of entitlement. Many people who use pornography do so out of a sense of entitlement. This particular entitlement feeling often stems from narcissism or anger. Narcissism is a great problem in our society today. People often focus on their own wants and what they feel that they need, and with little regard to what other people think. So the man or the woman who had a rough day at work might come home and feel entitled to view porn as a way to relax, despite how it may hurt the wife or the husband. Addicts may also feel entitled to use pornography out of anger, whether he is angry with his wife, boss, friends, or God. The addict may feel entitled to view porn to cool off. It is used as a reward to some. People of God, it's a problem. It's a problem. It's a problem. Pornography addicts can also justify their pornography use by viewing it as a reward, whether they have been working hard in their career or around their house. They justify this pornography use as a reward for a job well done. Number 8, it provides a feeling of power. Like all addicts, pornography addicts often feel that they have little control in life. Their deep needs to be heard, loved, affirmed, and blessed are not being met, resulting in a feeling of powerlessness. Using pornography and the people in porn gives them a sense of power. However, this particular false sense of power is short-lived. They don't realize that to feel a sense of control in their lives, they need to acknowledge their powerlessness and turn to God as the one true source of power. If any of these characteristics apply to you, listen, you may be addicted. But don't be discouraged, because today I am not coming to bring discouragement, but to bring enlightenment so that people can get this issue together. Freedom from pornography is very much so possible, but you're going to have to put into up some measures, security measures around your life so that you can walk out of this particular issue. Pornography, people, is a problem. Masturbation is a problem. A lot of people are married in the spirit. They have spirit husbands, spirit wives, and they're trying to get free. They're trying to live a life as best they can, to go to church and go through the motions, and try to have one foot in the church. But listen, people of God, you got to be all in. You have to be all in. If you want to be free from these particular spirits that are attacking your life, attacking your children, people must understand that what we do will affect our children. If we don't kill it now, our children will have to face that particular demon. That demon is generational, and it is coming down the generational line until someone stands up and says, no, the buck stops here. You're not coming down another generation. And you're going to have to fight the ancestral powers, the generational issues that have just come on down. Some of you have been molested. Some of you have seen maybe, your parents' magazines, or your uncle magazines, or your cousins or friends magazines, and this has opened up a door for you to walk into this particular problem. But there is a way out, and so this is why I'm coming to bring the enlightenment to some of you, because your hands are not clean. When your eyes are not clean, when you're masturbating, your hands are dirty, your hands are defiled. The Bible says, I am the Lord your God. Ye shall therefore sanctify yourself and be ye holy. I am holy. Neither shall you defile yourself with any manner of creeping thing that creep on upon the earth. He talks about separation. He talks about uncleanness. He talks about, coming out from amongst the foul thing. Don't set your eyes on things that are wicked. Amen. So listen, people of God, there are responsibility. There is accountability that we must have set up around our lives. Today, people don't want accountability. They want to run their own life. They don't want anyone telling them anything. They are anarchists in nature. And to be free, you have to have accountability. You have to be able to rise up and be mature. Number 1, admit that there is a problem. And then number 2, locate that person and you feel that you trust that you can open up to. Because a lot of times people are not opening up the secrets of their life because they don't feel that they can trust. And it's a problem and an epidemic in the church today where you can't talk to anyone about your issues. Either they're going to go and spread your issues as gossip, or they're going to take it to someone else that, they never should have taken it out. They violated, the trust in the relationship. relationship, because if there is a problem, they should take it directly to God. Now, number one, you should know that you should never take your issues to someone who is incapable of helping you. You do not just talk to your friends or talk to people who you think will cover you, but in the long run, they just want to see that you fall anyhow. They don't want you to rise. They love the fact that you have a problem. This is why you don't put your problems on Facebook. This is why you don't reveal to someone who has not been tried, tested. You have to be able to hold those things until God releases the person into your life so that they don't create another problem for you. Because sometimes when people know that you have a proclivity, they will take it to the wrong person and spread your issues all over the body of Christ. It's an issue today. So listen, people of God, there are some things that we have to do when it comes down to reaching out for help. There are many ministries who are not addressing defilement, who are not addressing spirit husbands, who are not addressing the bloodline curses, who are not addressing the blood covenants. People who have been raped, people have been sodomized, people who we don't know why people get into these types of proclivities and issues and addictions. But let me tell you, there is always an issue. Even teenagers, they will tell you that if they first saw a magazine by their cousin's house and they were addicted from that moment, you have to know, you have to set up protection measures. Don't allow your children to be on the internet. You got to know, you have to set up some accountability on the internet. Don't allow your children or your spouse. You have to come with accountability. Spouses have to be accountable to their spouse. A wife and a husband must be accountable to each other to let each other know what is going on so that you can address the issue and move forward. But today we are being inundated, even on the computer, when you're on Facebook, listen, there's all sorts of ads that pop up, and naked bodies and all sorts of things today. And people in the church, they're walking in the church and they look like sluts. Listen, people, I was the chiefest of sinners, so I can talk because what? I did it all. I look like a hooker. Okay, but listen, you can't look like a hooker in a church unless you come to get saved and delivered. Once you come in there, people should rush you to deliverance and show you exactly how it is and how to dress as a woman of God. We have to raise our standards in the kingdom. We have to raise our standards. People are struggling. And how would you like it if someone is undressing you? They're looking at you in church and they're undressing you, having sex with you, and you don't even know. And so they create a soul tie with you and you don't even know. That demon coming to sleep with you at night was because a person astral projected inside of you. Lord have mercy. See, until we are able to really address the issues that people are dealing with and stop all of the hoax and the gimmicks and the jokes, because church, who in the world said that church supposed to be, 2 fast songs, 3 slow songs, pick up the offering, somebody, do a solo, and then the preacher come and give a sermonette for 30 minutes and everybody sit down and go home, but yet the bondages are sitting directly in the pews. Even the preachers on the pulpit or their hands are defiled. I'm talking about people who are dealing with these issues. This is why you need to go and do your research and find out the statistics. People on the organ, look, the demons are attacking those in a worship ministry, those who will lead worship, those who play the drums, those who are, I'm telling you, people in leadership positions are being attacked by the enemy. The enemy does not want you to be pure and defiled. He doesn't want you to be pure. He wants you to be defiled. He wants you to be polluted, because the glory of God that want to hit the church today cannot come with pollution and defilement that is being practiced in the house of God today. That's why he talks so much about defile. Go and do a concordance research on the word defile. Go and do a concordance research on the word pollution. Listen, people of God, people need help today, and we have to get beyond doing church and be the church and help people out with what they are struggling with. Now, there is deliverance for those of you who are struggling, or those of you who know someone is struggling with these issues. I told you the statistics that I think they said 9 out of 10 had an issue with pornography when it came down to divorces. People are divorcing because of this. Children are being ran over because of this particular spirit. Children are going off in their room and masturbating, and you have no clue, because this spirit have attacked the child. And we have to open our eyes. We have to begin to understand that God is calling us to be the church and to be the spiritual hospital and to bring forth deliverance. It's amazing how I read in the word of God. Jesus said, in my name, they will cast out evil spirits. Every church underneath the sound, listen, every church who calls themselves a New Testament church should have a deliverance team, or should the pastor should allow deliverance to come forth in that house, because people need deliverance from powers that they are struggling with and they can't break free from. Now, we're not talking about people who want to pet their demons. We're talking about people who are coming to church, who are struggling, but yet they cannot get free. And every time they go to the altar, they're dragging the hard, heavy chains, the metal chain, the labor, they're dragging all the bondage and all the luggage. And yet they go back and somebody bat them on the head and push them down and on the floor, and they get up and go back home, and they still are struggling. Because we're not doing an extensive work, people of God. Listen, the Bible says in Matthew 5:29, and if your right eye offend you, pluck it out. Cast it off from you. For it profiteth for you that one of your members should perish, and not that your whole body should be cast into hell. And Matthew 5:30, it says, and if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it off from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of your members should perish, and not that your whole body should be cast into hell. So Romans 6:13 says, neither yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, but yield. Somebody say yield. We gotta yield ourselves unto God as those that are alive from the dead, and your members as instruments of righteousness unto God. And so listen, our body is the temple of the Lord Jesus Christ. And so we have people who are making excuses, and they're trying to say, well, I can masturbate, I can watch pornography because I'm not committing adultery. But we have to begin to look inside of our hearts and find out if we have a corrupt heart, if we need to ask God to create in us a clean heart and renew a right spirit on the inside of us. Because truly, Jesus said that it's a matter of the heart. He got beyond the surface, and Jesus began to explain, listen, that you have to walk in the spirit so that you will not fulfill the lust of your flesh. He said in 1 John 2:16, for all that is in the world is the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life. It is not of the Father, but it is of the world. So in Matthew 5:27 through 28, Jesus began to say, you have heard that it was said, do not commit adultery, but I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. Jesus cuts to the core, and he states that the issue is an issue of the heart. We're talking about issues and matters of the heart. It's an issue of lust. He continues in the next two verses with the tough remarks that if our eyes make us to sin, we should be willing to cut it off or get it away from us, so that we do not be casted into the lake of fire, the entire body. People of God, anything, any person, anything that is causing you to sin, get out, run, flee from fornication, run, turn off the computer, get yourself an accountability measure, get yourself someone who can peek into your life. Stop living in isolation and think nobody knows what's going on. No, don't live in your bondage. Get free, because what the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. Begin to cry out to God, to ask, to show you who you can be free with, who you can open yourself up to, because the Lord wants you to be free. People of God, I'm coming back with part 2. But today, people are struggling. We're hiding behind churchiness, and it's ugly. It's not cute. We can dance our dance. We can wear our St. John our high heels, our ties, our dainties, our pretty socks, and our bow ties, and we can look it all up. We can dress it up. We can put on the makeup. We can put on everything, and we can look it up real good. We can look like we are so saved, sanctified, holy. And listen, Jesus is saying, listen, there's a matter of the heart going on. There's something in the heart that will cause your entire body to be cast into hell. Listen, people of God, the church must rise up and be the church. We have to stop doing church and be the church. There are people that are sitting sitting in the pews that are struggling. When you look at the statistics, I'm talking about $97 billion worldwide industry. And the church, 51% of pastors say that cyber pornography is a temptation for them. 37 say that it is a current struggle. Over half of evangelical pastors admit to viewing pornography. 20% of the calls that are received in pastoral care line are for help with the issues as pornography, masturbation, all kinds of sexual behavior. 33% of clergy admitted to having visited sexually explicit websites. I speak deliverance to you who have come on with me today. I'm coming back for part 2, but I declare today that anyone in your life who is dealing with these issues, that God would anoint you. If you're not dealing with it, he would anoint you to reach down and get to the core of a person's life so that people don't have to fake it until they make it, because God didn't call any one of us to fake anything. He didn't call us to fake Christianity. Christianity is something that we have to live, and we have to understand that we have to get people delivered. Come on, we got to get into the dirtiness of ministry. We want to pluck it up and make it look like it's so pretty, but ministry is dirty because somebody's going to cry on your shoulder. Somebody's makeup is going to come off and rub off on your suit. Come on, somebody's going to snot all over you, and that's real ministry. Somebody's going to throw up and vomit up demons. That's real ministry. But no, we don't want that, because that's not pretty and that's not cute. And we don't want our pews messed up and our carpet messed up. But the devil is a liar. He is running rampant all throughout the church today, and people of God must be free. I'm telling you today, the Lord has given me a ministry to expose what's underneath the rug, to pull up that rug and get people from underneath that rug and get issues from underneath that rug so that they can begin to rise out of obscurity, rise out of bondage, rise out of every proclivity, rise out of every devil of the captivity of the enemy that have chains around their neck, and they're thinking that they're free because they're singing a song of freedom, but they're going home in bondage, and their lives are destroyed, and their marriages are destroyed, and their children's lives are destroyed. The devil is a liar. He's on a loose, people of God, and the more we keep our mouth closed about this particular area, about the sexual area, about the demons that are attacking people in their nighttime and coming to sleep with people. Listen, I'm going to lift the cover up, and for those of you who want to be free, the Lord said that he who the Son sets free is free indeed. We must get to the place where we can identify and begin to speak down to the core, the root, and the heart issues. The heart is what folk can't see. See, we see how you look on the outside, but God will reveal the heart. My God, the heart must be revealed. And so some of you today, I just want you to know that I'm coming back on, because we have to go through deliverance, people of God. We're going to come on here and we're going to do some renunciations. We're going to do listen, we got to renounce and denounce the powers of darkness. Whatever your problem was, if you were molested and they turned you off into this area of masturbation and fantasy and all sorts of damaged emotions and loneliness. Loneliness leads people into masturbation, and a lot of singles are struggling with this particular power. A lot of married people are struggling with these demonic powers that are afflicting their lives. We got to get down to the root. We got to begin to cast down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. We got to get to help. We got to get to help, people of God. We got to find help. My God, there is help for you. There is help for you. There is help for your home. There is help. Don't get the divorce. Get help. Get deliverance. My God, my God, my God. People are struggling because the enemy is attacking the eye gate, the ear gate, the nose gate, the body gate. He is not sparing in this season, because we are in the end of the end, whether you believe that or not. But God wants his people to be free. And so I had to come on and release this to you. I want you to share this with your friends, because I want people to know that there is a place where you can be transparent. There's a place that you can reach out for help. There's a place that you can open up and tell someone that you're struggling, so that you can be free for real. And you don't have to go through the motions, but you can really get down to business with God. God bless you. I will come back on. Share this with your viewers. Someone in your list may need to know that they can get help. They don't have to hide any longer. Even though churches are not addressing it, the statistic says that less than 7% of churches have any sort of program or any sort of ministry for people who are bound by this spirit. And this is why divorce. This is why many are divorcing. If you look at the statistics, Covenant Eyes, go there. Go and look at that site. Go find out. Let someone know who's struggling. Go there. Get the information. Go to, I have some other resources. Go to crosswalk.com, blazinggrace.org. There's so much information to help you all. And I had to come on and I had to release that to you. I will be back with more hot topics on Upfront Talk with your host, Dr. Evette Young, better known as Lady General. God bless you. I will return. If you need any help, come to www.godsroyalwomen.org. It's so easy to contact us here. We're here to help you. We're here to help you to get to the place, number one, a place of freedom. But there's a higher place. There's a place of dominion. There's a place of power. There's a place where you can overcome all things that are coming against your life. I don't care if it's alcohol. I don't care if it's cocaine. I don't care if you snort up. I don't care if it's marijuana. I don't care if you shoot up. I don't care. There is help. If you need help, if you need help from masturbation, pornography, if you need help from people have all kinds of dirty little things that they don't want to tell anybody, but God sees all. We're going to allow him in so that he can touch your life. He can heal your life, deliver your life, set you up in another place, in another land, set you on a rock to stay, set you in green pastures, purify your life, get all the defilement out, all the pollution out, and my God, raise you up to be a testimony to the nations. God bless you, people of God. I love all of you. I see all of you. God bless you so much. God bless you. Thank you so much. Beautiful Jocelyn Adams. Wonderful. I love you. Sister Deborah, Sister Chelsea, Brother Clement, Sister Joy, Brother Lucy, Nakai, all of you, Sister Julie. Thank you so much for joining. Sherry, Brother John, Monique, and Tina, thank you so much. Janelle, sister and brothers, men and women of God, honor all of you. And come back because I will share more. Invite your viewers to this, share this, and let's get the people of God free. I love you all. We'll talk soon. God bless.